Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Thursday, May the 2nd, 2024. Thursday, May the 2nd. Well, not a whole lot went on. I do want to start with the best of what happened. I remember Maxie said there is one other person. And I was trying to figure out who could that be. I said, come on, daily recap, comment corner, folks. Who is that? And it ended up being Brooklyn. So everybody's at the house. And to me, that would have made Brooklyn very, very nervous. And she was, because Brooklyn is not the spokesmodel personality, right? So she's there, Scott's there, and we've got, Lois was there, and Olivia comes out, and they're screen testing Brooklyn, trying to get her comfortable with it, and she was not. She ended up with way too much on her hand, too much on her hand, and she just didn't test well. She didn't have the product facing out. I mean, the whole 9 yards. Sasha was trying to give her some tips, right? But then Lucy shows up. And actually, Scott comes with Lucy. So Lucy is like, making it like she's not as good as I was. And so Brooklyn goes through it. Scott's recording it. She goes through take one. And of course, that's when Lucy said, I was better than her. And so Lois says, that's because my Brookie was nervous. It was her first go round. And so I think Maxie says even Sasha was not perfect her first take. However, she still talked about the product because Lucy says, well, let me show how it's done. So she takes in Scott's recording, and Lucy ultimately started talking about herself. And then she realized, well, but this product and the way it works is she gooped up a whole bunch and she gooped it on the back of her hand and she's rubbing it in, and they're just looking like that's not how it works. You're supposed to put a little dab. Because see, she saw Brooklyn made that mistake, but Lucy did even more than Brooklyn. And then she finally got, see, there, it's in. And but it's like when I decided to do that, she went right back in and out to herself. And Maxie's just looking, and she was happy Scott was recording it because after Lucy was done, they said, "Let's take a look at this." And so they looked at it, and Lucy was even herself kind of shrinking back at how badly she did. So Lois stands up. She goes, "Look, my Brookie deserves another shot at this. I'm gonna give her some pointers." So she's giving her pointers. Now, Brookie, honey, when you stand here, you hold the product out so it can be seen. And when it's time to, test it, you gently screw off the top, and then you smell it, and just, you talk about the smells, and you take just a little tiny bit, and her little fake long nails, a little, needs to look like a pearl drop, and then you put it on your skin, and then you go, oh, how it makes you feel. And Maxie is looking, and Scott is recording, right? And even Lucy is looking at this, and she was like, oh my goodness. And Maxie looks at Lucy, and Lucy looks at Maxie, and so Brooklyn looks at both of them, and so she goes, Ma, I need one more go round. Can you please? Because I'm still nervous, Ma. Can you show me this and that? And Lois went through the whole thing. And then Tracy said, okay, that is enough. Stop. And so Lois says, okay, now it's Brookie's turn. And she goes, no, no, we don't even need Brooklyn to do it again because it's not Brooklyn. And Lois looks at her like, hey, wait. She goes, because we've already found the perfect person. And Lois is like, who? And I think it was Maxie. Maxie says, you. You're the perfect person. Or it could have even been Lucy. And Brooklyn looked and she smiled because she was getting her mother to do it twice just to prove she was the perfect person. And she goes, me? And she goes, you are a natural at it. And so they said, Lois, what do you think? And so Brooklyn says, Ma, this is you. What do you think? And so Lois looks at Olivia, and Olivia's like, so she's like, she's in. Now I like that. They need something for Lois to do for her to still be on the show. I'm really liking that it went to Lois. She's pretty, even though she has an accident. I mean, accident. That was an accident. Even though she has an accent, Lois represents everyone. See, not everyone speaks a certain diction. We've got different accents, different tones, and Lois, with her Brooklyn accent, is perfect for this job. So I'm really happy about that. I'm really, really happy. Now, Sasha had to make lunch for the kids, and Tracy is up in arms. She told Olivia she does not want Sasha. Just because she's a friend of Olivia's doesn't mean she needs to be the cook. You know, she's not even qualified. And so Olivia said, yes, she is. She goes, no, Olivia, you just wanted somebody as the cook that you could come in and order out the kitchen whenever you wanted to cook. And she says, and what's wrong with that, Tracy? She said, just because I want to cook doesn't mean I'm giving up on cooking. I love to cook. It's therapeutic for me. It relaxes me. It's just sometimes I'm too busy to do it. So Sasha walks in and Tracy says, okay, now Aiden, because Elizabeth asked Willow to bring Aiden to the Quartermain house because she's trying to figure out the nurses' schedules. They've got gaps in the whole sick calls, and she just needed to be there later. And so, you know, she's worried about Aiden because look, Aiden been staying home alone all this time. He's a teenager, right? So where's Jakey? So anyway, Willow takes him there, and he goes up to the Quartermain house because they're going to have lunch. And he's in the kitchen with Sasha. And so he goes, something smells good. He goes, now I'm a baker, you know, but he bakes pastries. He goes, I've never, really made food. Well, some foods, you know. He says, but what you have in the oven, I really want to know how you did this and what's the concept behind it. So she goes, you can be my helper. So I forget the name of the dish, but it's made with whatever you got in the refrigerator, you can make this dish. Now it looked bready to me, and I'm not a bread person, but that's okay. Right. So they're dishing it up, gave everybody a plate. Now Michael had already gone back to the house with Amelia to put her down, and Willow was there laying down. And so they're tasting it. And oh, recast, I forgot to say, recast on Aiden. This young man is a little shorter than the other Aiden. That other Aiden was skyrocketing, and he looks younger. He looks like he's about a year younger. And recast on Georgie. They made Georgie younger. So I don't know if they're going to be permanent recast or not. But remember, Georgie at Halloween, Georgie and Danny were pretty much together, and it was Charlotte and Jake for Halloween, even though Georgie and Danny weren't dating each other, but you know, they were together. So anyway, they take a plate out to Tracy, and Tracy's out on the patio with Gregory talking to him. And she tasted it, and it immediately took her back to this bed and breakfast she and Luke used to stay at that they served it. She named the dish. And she goes, ultimately, it's whatever you have in your house, you can make a dish like this. She goes, but she goes, this tastes so good. And it reminded her of her Luke, and Gregory's like, I wish I would have met him. And she's like, you probably wouldn't have liked him. But anyway, Tracy ends up, and she had told Sasha, she told Aiden, take out the cookbook, flip to any page, put your finger down, name a dish. So he names it. And so she goes, that's what I want you to make for dinner, Sasha. And then Sasha says, okay, but do you think the children will want to eat anything with pate in it? So then she goes, ate it, another page. So he does another page, puts his finger down. That's what I want you to make. And Sasha's like, okay, dinner will be ready at 7. So Tracy ultimately came in and told her, okay, no more tests. You've got the job. this tastes really, really good. So I was really happy for Sasha with that. Job's hers. So now we also have Willow. Willow, when Michael came in, Michael was talking to her. She was laying on the couch because she had just come off of a double shift. And the nanny had an emergency. So Michael had little Amelia. And Willow's kind of like, see, she just never didn't know any of this was going on, that the nanny had an emergency and Michael had to come home from work early to take care of Amelia. And she told him, she says, Michael, even though she felt guilty because the hospital was so short staffed, they were trying to, Felicia came around, she was trying to find, somebody that could step in for another shift. And Willow told her, she says, look, I'm just coming off of a 12-hour shift. I'm ex- I really have to go, you know. And then Elizabeth had called her and says, look, I know you get ready to leave. Can you pick up Aiden and take him back to the Quartermain house? And I will pick him up later whenever I get out of here, right? So that's how that happened, that Willow had Aiden. But then she told Michael, she says, Michael, I am missing so much. She says, and I feel guilty. He goes, I feel guilty because, people working these hours, they do it either because they have to or they love it. She says, don't get me wrong. I love caring for people, but I think I went into nursing for the wrong reasons. I wanted independence. I wanted to make sure that I did not have to depend on you for an income. She's saying, but now I'm looking at the trade-off because she was looking at that brochure that Drew gave her. Michael says, yeah, I see you looking at the brochure. She said, the trade-off is, she goes, I won't make any money because, right now it's not in the budget. She's like, but I can help people too. Find services and donors. I mean, this saved my life. So I'm passionate about it, she says, and then I could set my own hours. I will not miss all the important things of the kids. She goes, I really feel guilty about that because honestly, I don't have to work hours like that. And Michael said, no, you don't. He's like, Willow, we don't need an income from you at all. He goes, I understand you want your independence, but we actually don't need it. And I was going to say, doggone right, you don't need it. You live in on family property, and that was actually the gatehouse. At one point, Nell was shoved in the gatehouse before Michael remodeled it, right? Michael remodeled that whole gatehouse when Willow moved onto the property, when I think they were trying to fight for uh, little Wiley's custody before they got together. He completely almost tore that gatehouse down and built it into a home for Willow because it looked nothing like that, right? Nell used to complain about sticking her out in a gatehouse. So they're not paying rent. Michael has his huge salary from Aurora. Michael does have investments. Michael does have money. He could have given his mama the money to buy her half of the Metro Court. He has money from Jason, from Sonny, from the Quarterman. Michael is very wealthy. And so she says, I know. She says, I know we don't need a salary from me, but I wanted to contribute, and at least be able to take care of myself if need be. What if you left? He goes, I'll never leave, Willow. She goes, but I'm saying that to say this. Now that I'm really looking at weighing what I'm missing, I would rather be with my children. So he goes, sounds like you've made up your mind. And she says, only if you're on board. He goes, Willow, I'm on board with whatever you choose to do. That's your decision. See, Michael had, that's why the whole making the decision about Nina, where Willow was concerned, that was out of character for Michael. Michael always believes in letting other people make their own decisions. So he says, that is your decision. And I'm going to stand by you and respect you, whatever you choose to do, Willow. So she goes, he goes, you know what? You got some time. Do you want to go upstairs and take a nap? Because he had put Amelia down and Wiley was with the other kids, Cody in the stable. Cody's also a babysitter, you know, not babies, but, you know, kid sitter. Okay. So she's getting ready to go upstairs. She goes, I could use some help upstairs. And Michael's like, say no more. So, they go upstairs to get a little love time in the afternoon. And Wiley comes out up at the main house, him and little, what's his name? Maxie's little boy, James. And they're just best of friends. I like little James. He is so cute. So they wanted to Wiley says, where's my daddy? And so Tracy says, oh, he went to the gatehouse. He went to your house. So he goes, I want to take daddy some lunch. So she goes, well, go take it to him, right? And so Georgie and Aiden were with them. And Georgie said, hey, kids, give me the plate, because it was a stoneware plate, and give me the fork, because they're gonna race, because James says, I'll race you there. And Wiley's like, okay. And Violet says, I'm gonna beat both of you. She's like, neither of you are fast as me. So the little kids start running to the gatehouse, and we've got Georgie and Aiden, following behind them to the gatehouse. So they get in the house, and somehow James and Wiley start tussling. The plate falls and it breaks. Willow and Michael hear it, and they're in the bed. They're like, what is that? And so Georgie and Aiden are like, see, this is what happens when you play around like that. Now we have to clean this mess up. And Wiley's like, where's my daddy? And now Cody's on his way, because Cody came out to the terrace and said, hey, Tracy came in and told Sasha she had the job and everything was cool. And she goes, you are falling down on your job. And Cody's like, what are you talking about? She says, where are the kids? And he goes, aren't they on the terrace? She goes, no, they went to the gatehouse to find Michael. He goes, up, I'm on my way. So he's running there. So when he gets there, Aiden and Wiley and Charlotte, not Charlotte, and Violet, they're like, Wiley's like, where's my daddy? He's probably upstairs. Let's go get him upstairs. And Georgie and Aiden look at each other and they're like, hey, because they're realizing if they're upstairs, something may be up in the love in the air, right? And Cody comes in at that exact moment and says, wait, where are you guys going? And they're like, we're gonna go find daddy and mommy. We think they're upstairs. Cody says, oh no, you're not going upstairs. You guys left a mess in the stables. Now you go to the stables and clean it up. And so they put the plate down and they all go out with Georgie and Aiden too. And Michael was at their bedroom door and he was listening and he heard them all leave. And they're like, did they go? And so he says, yes, they went, they left. And Michael and Willow pick up right where they left off. So, pretty much it was a nothing day. It really was. This is sweep, and I'm not getting it. I'm not feeling sweeps-ish. It's just Sasha pretty much submitting herself more into her job and, dealing with, now that we have a new spokesperson for deception, everybody is happy about that. So that's it for the recap for General Hospital for today. Now let's go into comment corner, y'all. I should have had my comments up and they are not up. So let me pull up these comments really quickly here. We're going to be able to go from the bottom up with the comments today, because yesterday I went from the top down. Now this time I'm going bottoms up. Okay, so here we go. Let me scroll all the way down to the bottom. And here we go. It starts with Lisa. Lisa says, it is not TJ's business what Christina talked to Molly about, and it is not his place to tell Christina who she spends to tell Christina who she spends time with. He has no business telling her not to see her father. He knew who her father was when they had her impregnated with their baby. TJ's known who her father was ever since he was a little boy, right? His Uncle Sean worked for Sonny, TJ. And let's be real, when you got kidnapped, TJ, and beaten for days, did it have anything to do with Uncle Sonny? No, it had everything to do with Mama Jordan. Bite on that, TJ. Mama Jordan's past coming to haunt her. So, I'm sick of him. And Cindy says, agree 100%. He is overstepping and off base with her. And Lisa also said, I saw that it was Brooklyn's mom, Lois, who will do the Home and Heart show. She knows everything deception. She knows the original deception too, remember? Lucy will ruin deception. She will cause the company to close. Yes, Tracy needs to fire her or make her resign. Yeah, to me, they need to have Tracy take more of a hand in deception because I'm sick of her. And then Lisa says, why did Drew spend so much time explaining to Nina his business with Curtis? She is now down talking Drew to Curtis. I know. What is her problem? She is acting like Drew is trying to pull a fast one over on him. Drew couldn't have explained himself, should not have explained himself to her. And then Lexa says, I hope Curtis comes to realize that Nina is a hot mess. This is the second time she barged in on their meeting with her BS. That is so true. And then Lisa also says, I hope Drew doesn't let Nina push her way into his project with Willow. Willow will quit if he does. We shall see what's going to happen there. Denzel says, look, I understand where TJ is coming from about Sonny, but I'm not liking how he's stressing Christina out. I know. And telling her, let me see, I lost my comment there for a minute, everybody. And telling her, let me see, I'm not liking the way. And telling her what to do. I'm not liking how these new writers are writing out TJ like he forgot that Sonny didn't save his life. Was there for him. Yes, he was there for TJ. Now he's saying that Sonny is a dangerous man. Like TJ's been known about Sonny's lifestyle. Now he's judging Sonny. Yeah, I'm not liking how this is going at all. This is going to lead to TJ and Molly's. I know they might break up. That's how I'm seeing it. I kind of see them too, kind of splitting for a minute too. TJ needs to go and kick rocks. FR. If I were Alexis, I would have slapped Blaze's mom for disrespecting my daughter, Christina, on yesterday. General Hospital, great review, daily recaps. And then I am says TJ's benefited from Sonny not only saving his life, but taking a bullet and paying for school. That's right. Well, taking what bullet? Somebody remind me, what bullet did Sonny take for TJ? But I do know, I forgot all about the fact Sonny paid for TJ's medical school. Huh. Isn't that interesting? How quickly they forget. How quickly. And then Lisa says Valentine is going to shocked, going to be shocked when when Anna takes him down and arrests him. I really hope she finds out what he did to Sonny's meds. She will find out when Carly finds out, and they use it to get him the charges dropped about Cyrus getting beaten up. Diane will always find use wait, we'll find a way to use it to get Sunny out of trouble. Yes, she will. And from scenes, I saw scenes, so hopefully it's today. Carly's figuring out something's wrong with him, and it's the meds, right? Because she's been through that rodeo too many times. It's just she was so happy that Jason was back that she wasn't paying attention because she would have noticed it right off. As Ava's happily letting it happen. Bernice says, I think Alexis wanted to keep the peace during the whole conversation. She wanted to go off, and we know she can, yes. It was too early for TJ with having the baby and didn't tell Molly how much he was hurting. Yeah. He is over the top, but at the end of the day, Molly will be the outside on the outside looking in. TJ is the biological father, and Christina is the biological mother. Lucy says, hello, Daily Recap lady. TJ and Molly rushed into the second surrogacy. They should have adopted a baby. Chrissy says, TJ was over the top. I did not like Christina. Wait, I don't like Christina. So happy whenever somebody gives her a hard time. Christina's going to keep that baby as she is. Talking about my baby. And Felicia says TJ needs to sit all the way down. He was ridiculous. Cindy says the seating arrangement were odd with TJ sitting directly opposite Christina. I'd expect Molly to be directly across from him or beside him. It accentuated TJ's confrontive attitude. Yes, it did. He needs to check himself. He tells Molly it's our baby, but it's Christina's baby as well as it's her life too. TJ knew all this before agreeing to it. Yes, he sure did. And then Cindy says Natalia was rude and condescending when she compared Blaze's career to Christina. I'm glad Alexis showed her the door at that point. She was holding her temper. I am says, with everyone she spoke to, I'm confused why Maxie didn't tell her to Google Brooklyn's assault. Nell slit her throat. She was lucky to be alive. I know. She sure didn't know that. She jumped from singing to the no. She didn't jump from anything. She ended up saving a baby. P. Merle says to I am Natalia is momager on steroids. Is anyone good enough to breathe the same air as her Blaze? DB says you are getting closer and closer to a knockdown, drag out custody battle. Once again, I was cringing to my bones with Nina and Drew. Do you see? Do we have to see them? We can't just use their images. And Lexus had a little smiley face. That was funny. And then I am says Alexa should have checked Natalia. Christina is a Corinthos and a Cassadine, Russian and Greek royalty. I am says Nina is James's aunt slash cousin. Nina's mom raised Nathan, but he is Liesel's son. That is so, so true. All right, everybody, that is it for Comment Corner today. I will be back tomorrow with another daily recap of General Hospital.